Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me. However, let me tell you, and let me take you through from a male perspective on how I think women can conquer the technology field, and that is why I remember. If you remember before, when God introduced Adam to Eve, He said, "Man meet woman," and I think now it's more appropriate, given this day and age, woman meet technology. I also came from the Philippines, which is also why I'm a bit dumbfounded with the issue of women empowerment, because we're very much dominated and controlled by women. In my team of 200, I'm a chief digital officer of the biggest media organization here in the Philippines. And out of my 200 people, I think around 150 of them would be women, all ordering me around. And in our Execom, which we had last week in Hong Kong, you will see that these are the top executives of our media company spanning 25 businesses. Majority are men, but 4 women called the shots. So, this is our company, and Charo Santos, Jing Reyes, Malu Santos, and Cory Vidanes, very popular, 4 very strong women ordering the men around. And that's why, like I've said, no, I've been a bit dumbfounded with this issue. Maybe not here much in the Philippines, no. But when I take a step back and I looked at how much has the women, your gender, have already dominated the tech world. I've seen already that if you even just Google women in tech, you will see so many people who have really made it in the technology space. For example, Lamor Fried created what is called Adafruit, where actually what the website does is they sell open source hardware kits to let tech gurus or everyday hobbyists do it yourself their own products. And what they do is that she's the first female engineer to appear on the cover of Wired and earn 22 million in revenue just last year. We've seen also, for example, Chahiros Charania, who is 33-year-old, is a young woman working in Silicon Valley. She founded Women 2.0, which is now one of the world's largest community-driven media brand for women in technology and entrepreneurship, and having already reached 100,000 women so far. Um, Dina Varkshavskaya, 34-year-old, is a founder of Wanelo, and it's an online shopping mall with over 350,000 stores and millions of users posting tens of thousands of new products each day for others to click and purchase, all right in your pocket, bigger than our biggest retail store here. And Clara Shi of Hearsay Social, wanting to go up against Facebook, she was featured as Fortune's magazine's most powerful women entrepreneur, New York Times bestseller, elected to the Starbucks board of director, and now founder of Hearsay Social, which is a social media dashboard for businesses that allows them to engage and build relationships with their customers. And what we've seen is that when I look at the list, I saw actually hundreds of women who are now really dominating the tech space. However, I've also want to note that if you talk about legacy and if you talk about history, we all have the stereotype that men are more left-brained, we're more into the logic and the tech side, women are more on the creative side and the right brain. And however, with this day and age, with this technology, we're seeing already the fusion of the left and right brain. And in fact, if you talk about today, why women are so empowered is that because they are able to balance the two very well, I think, much better than men. Let me instead share with you my personal experience, and rightly so. I always share this because it really gave me a paradigm shift when I attended this conference in the US last year. This is a VidCon. It's video conference. It's short for video conference, and it was conducted in Anaheim Convention Center, just right across Anaheim in Disneyland, just across Disneyland. This convention was attended by 20,000 people. 19,500 of them are below legal age, and most of them are shrieking girls. Okay, so what is this convention all about? This is a convention of what you call the YouTube sensations and the YouTube celebrities. If you would look here, there's a tarpaulin here, right? Can you see the tarps, the white background here? There are different tarpaulins here, and if you fast forward, it is actually a place where the YouTube sensation, this girl, and everyone lining up just to have 1 minute to say hi to her. So people would line up from 6 to 8 hours, even before the convention center would open, right? And just for 1 minute to say hi. And after 45 seconds, you take a picture and then you're out, right? So it was a massive gathering. And even at 4:30 p.m., you would see that even people are still lining up. And at 5 p.m., they would just close and shoo you away. So here you will see people are still taking a chance, and even the parents are lining up for their kids. This was also a conference where I've seen so many breakout sessions, and most of the breakout sessions you will have all the speakers there who are 25 and below, and us 30 and above down, they're on stage, and we're downstairs taking notes. So it's really a massive paradigm shift. And some who are 14-year-old, there's a 14-year-old lady who says, "Oh, I earned my first million on YouTube, and I was suicidal, but I didn't proceed with my suicide. I just go to YouTube and tell my story," and she was a millionaire overnight. And those were the different stories that we were able to get there. No? So there was a breakout session. You have so many of these teenagers there telling their stories, how they earned so much. No? And the biggest celebrity there was, of course, Michelle Phan. She cannot contain the breakout room. She has to have the ballroom. So we're talking about 20 people, 20,000, maybe not 20,000, maybe 10,000 people in that ballroom. When she's a Malaysian American, 27-year-old. When she entered the stage, we're labeled as industry people, so the boring people, the immigrants were there up front. And when she entered, the entire auditorium was just shrieking and shouting, and we were all confused. What's happening? Is there a fire? So we didn't know what's happening, but when she went up on stage, she was very small, so 5'2". She went up and she was just electrifying, very charismatic. And if you does anyone here know her? What she does? Okay. So Michelle Phan is one of the biggest YouTube sensations. She does how to make up, right? And I'll show you one of her videos since most of you don't know her. What sounds?
Think of me as your beauty bestie. I want all of you to see how beautiful.
If you talk about 6 million subscribers, you would have dwarfed even the biggest media network in the world at 6 million subscribers on YouTube. And I will tell you why. We're the biggest in the Philippines. We only have 2 million. And we're even bigger than CNN, right, in terms of YouTube subscription. So you're seeing how much they're taking over the world. When she rose to fame, she was so popular that L'Oreal made her the brand ambassador. After a year, they were not only satisfied with that, they even created her own cosmetic line called Michelle Phan. And in that stage, the L'Oreal marketing director was saying how much she was able to make an impact and increase their marketing, their sales and their market share tremendously. Because L'Oreal was initially targeted towards the more mature segment, 30 and above. So they were able to go after the teen market because they realized that for cosmetics, I don't wear cosmetics. So for the ladies, you catch them while they're young, and they would use you. They would use you for life. So they want to catch the younger audiences at an earlier stage. So that was a very good insight. And that time, and now actually, Michelle Phan created her own multi-channel network, and she's now creating content rivaling the biggest networks in the US. This was also this was VidCon. The day before VidCon was a YouTube planning session. So around 100 of us, each representing our own countries, we met up with all the YouTube executives, and we were actually planning for our YouTube strategy. I represented my media network because we're one of the biggest partners in the world. So when I was there, the CEO of YouTube, which is a lady, Susan Wojcicki, when she saw me, because I had a Philippine flag in my name tag, she just ran to me and said, "Okay, what's happening?" And she said, "Oh, you're from the Philippines. We would really like to thank you for being one of the top countries patronizing YouTube. So we're like top 10 in the world. Again, after Indonesia. In Indonesia by sheer population. So we're top 10 in the world. I think we're ranked 7 in the world. And what she's saying is also, you just have so much, you're really YouTube country. And she also said, I really like to meet your #1 YouTube star. So coming from a media network, I said, who's our YouTube star? I don't even know who's our number one YouTube star. So I was thinking of all our top celebrities who I manage on their YouTube platform. I said, none of them are number one. So who is she referring to? And then she said, oh, it's those kids, the two kids. So I said, who are they? And I don't even know. So I had to go back and research. Now, just for context, when I joined the media network 2 years ago, one of my mandate to my entire team is to make ABS-CBN, our company, the number one YouTube channel in the Philippines. We were not number one then. There were a lot of channels there. After a year, we became number one. However, after 1 month, these two kids actually overtook me. So there you will see ABS-CBN. We went 1 billion, and then out of nowhere, kids' toys became number one. Right? And what do they do? In fact, if I would show, well, by the way, I'm now back to number one. Okay, just to show you. Now, but that's my entire machinery running and creating more videos just to work with them, right? But if you look at we create a lot of content. We're an expert in content. Our number one video is at 15 million views. 15 million views is all our celebrities, our broadcasters, anchors in one Christmas station ID greeting everyone Merry Christmas. However, the kids' toys, at not their best video, is at 16 million. Okay, 16 million views, and this was not their best. And this is an example of their video at 16 million.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Kids Toys channel. Today we're going to open. Let's open them. You first.
Okay, so I will just mute this just for you to see how they're doing it. When I showed this to when we create our station ID, we use 3 directors, 25, scriptwriters, producers, and we fly to 25 to 30 places around the Philippines. Their video, and that's 15 million views. This is 16 million views, outperforming us. I will tell you the story. Just for context, no, how they're doing this. The father is a public school grade 1 public school math teacher, and he realized that he cannot earn a living just by being a public school math teacher. What he does is that he went online and researched on how you can earn money on YouTube. So what he did was, after finding out about being a creator can earn you money, what he does is that every other week he would, from Laguna, 3 hours away from Manila, he would ride an FX, a public utility vehicle, to one of the biggest toy stores, to a Toy Kingdom here, and buy toys. He would bring all of those toys back, and he would then ask the 2 daughters, play with these toys and I will video cam you. He would just say that. Right? And this would be the output of their videos. If you, so let me just go back very quickly. And these are the output. Now, if you look at their videos, they're averaging 28 million views a week, right? 28 million views. How many views do they get in a month? If you multiply this by 4, give or take 100 million views. At 100 million views, what people do not know is that YouTube pays any content creator $1 for every 1,000 views. At 100 million views, they are earning no less than 100,000 US a month. So from living in a shanty, they now live in a massive house. So I'm now friends with the father on Facebook. So he posted last night, okay, bring up my new house. He's established a new house with 12,000 watt solar panel and everything. And his gazebo with pool is like as big as this. Coming from a shanty. In fact, now, he has a new nickname in his small town. He's now called the Drug Lord, because people don't know what he's doing. And he was saying, "Well, how did you become that rich immediately?" And he said, "YouTube." And people were saying, "You're kidding me," right? So that gives you an idea of how, when you talk about from the creative side, right? How one can become a creator, no? Just very quickly, also, by the way, their number one video is 95 million views. Right, bigger than any of the biggest celebrities here in our country. So let me end with one more story. So my time is up. I'm always fascinated with this technology. Cynthia Brazil is from MIT, and what she did was she envisioned that everyone would be using a robot in their home. And what she did was that she utilized a lot of the current technology and fused everything together. when she created the company, she said, "I don't want people to be part of my company. Like I don't want to be a share. I don't want shareholders in my company, or I don't want to be diluted as a minority shareholder." So what she did was she went to Indiegogo and crowdfunded her vision and her idea. Initially she was looking for 100,000. She was able to get, actually at the end of this campaign, she was able to get $2 million instead of $100,000. From 2 million, what she tell people is that if you believe that I can create a Jibo, give me $500, donate $500 to me, and after I create it by December 2015, I will send you an actual Jibo. Right? So after crowdfunding, she's now working on it. She's an MIT professor, and she's now heavily working into this. No? So this is Jibo.
Jibo. This little bot of mine.
Jibo will be launched 2015, and I actually donated so I can get one, and hopefully I get to dismantle it after, and see, because if you look at it, if that would be your screen, that would be your TV, your gadget, your radio, and everything, it would also revolutionize how we in the media industry would work, right? So having said all of that, what I always say is that maybe what is more important is we reverse it. That now technology meet woman, with all of the power and I'm not a woman, but I believe that women should be empowered, and only because of one thing also, and maybe it's because in the world for my two daughters as they grow up, I want them to be part of a workplace where they can also show their potential and be the best that they can be. So thank you very much.